Hey, everybody. Tim here, Gray Man Poda, amateur radio call sign November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Guys, gals, it is Wednesday night, and you are here for the Ham Radio Kids Table live stream. Now, the stream will get started shortly, and while they're backstage getting things ready, make sure you look down below. Take a look at all those different content creators that are part of the Ham Radio Kids Table. Make sure you follow their channels. And while you're there, make sure you hit the like button for this live stream and also share it with your friends. So grab a cold drink, buckle up, the live stream will get started shortly.
Hey, this is Luke, K9RFL out of Illinois. You're watching the Ham Radio Kids Table.
Russell from Springfield, Ohio. You're watching Ham Radio Kids Table.
My name's Tyler Robbins. I'm KM4 SFM from Section, Alabama, and you're watching the Ham Radio Kids Table.
Vintage Radio!
What's up? I'm Mike, N2MAK. Check out my YouTube channel for all things portable amateur radio, whether it's POTA, SOTA, even VHF and above. But enough about me. It's time for the Ham Radio Kids Table. That's where the fun's at. Let's get to it.
Good
after evening. Welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. This is not your grandpa's ham radio.
Gosh,
and still no cue cards.
And since when does N2MAK have summits? I mean, the Northeast is as flat as the South. Come on.
No, he's in New York where they have mountains.
We only have an hour. We can't argue about mountains in New York right now.
Yeah, that's true. Hi.
Not Delaware.
Really?
Yeah,
No
really.
mountains?
Delaware has the highest point is like 450 feet, which is below Soda's minimum of 500 feet to be considered.
Wow.
Jeff, my
There you go.
QTH is at 473 feet. We only go up from there. Anyway.
Yeah, I know
All
that.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time of day it is, and welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. We're getting right into it tonight. Tonight is a Ham Nation night, so we are on a time limit, but we have our friends Mike and Becky in for FFF and in for BKY joining us, and we thought it is time to get them on the show. Had a great opportunity to hang out with them, and got a great tour guide around the city of Huntsville, Alabama, their backyard at the Huntsville Ham Fest, and had a great time. So they are here. They're going to talk to us about Morse code, CW, all that fun stuff, their YouTube channel. And I believe they've got a couple products that they've been working on and have released. Some hamgenuity abound down there with all those engineers in Huntsville. And so we could get that into the ether here, so we can talk about them. So first of all, welcome, guys. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It was fun hanging out with you more for sure this year. It was our second Ham Fest. The first one we were pretty green, so we didn't really know what was going on. This one was a lot more fun. We got to hang out with everybody a lot more. And
Yep. And sorry you ended up with us as tour guides.
Well,
but luckily we were mostly stuck at the campground.
yeah.
It was good. We got an opportunity to go to the Signals Museum, and that was a really, really cool place. So not only do they cover radio, television, telephones, everything of transmitting voice from and communication from one spot to another. So that was a very, very fun museum. And thank you for suggesting that.
Yeah, it was. They just opened in March of this year, and we got to interview the kind of the collector, and almost all the pieces are his. So it was really neat to kind of hear his story and how he started collecting. It was really neat.
Yeah, and for anybody who may not be familiar with the Signals Museum, it's here in Huntsville where Hamfest is. And we stumbled on it on a rainy day when we were camping and we were looking for something to do. And went in there and then kind of turned the corner and saw their Morse code selection. And we're like, are you kidding me?
It was neat, yeah.
And you immediately broke out and did some QSOs.
Yeah, pretty much. Like across the room. Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of hands-on stuff. Like you can go try some of the different telegraph keys and see how it transmits. And it's
neat.
Yeah.
Right on.
Cool.
Yeah, and Vince, to kind of tie back into something you were talking about and got excited about a few months ago, there is traditional telegraph Morse code.
Oh, neat.
Keys and this is
And
what
sounders.
they're actually hearing. Right. Yeah. So you're not hearing the dits and dahs, you're hearing the clicks and clacks. Yeah. So that was really cool.
Yeah, right on. Cool.
Yeah, and this when we went to go visit at Hamfest, we were surprised that there was a setup that was a donation from a Silent Key, and he had a super amazing collection, and so it was a big surprise to get to see all that stuff too.
It was like a whole bunch of old Vibroplex bugs and some really, really old. They didn't even really know how far back they went. And it was his whole collection. It was really neat.
Yeah, and we started to film a short about it because we were going to give our friend Forrest, who also has a YouTube channel, a hard time since he has probably
he has a little key collecting addiction, I think.
Yeah, and the guy that did the donation happened to be standing right there, and then we're like, "Oh, do you want to
talk about it?" Yeah.
So, as soon as we get a chance to edit that video, that'll be out soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
So we had fun up at the pavilion. Tim, maybe you want to tell the story of what we might have had you.
Yeah. So very, very, Becky is a very persuasive person. And I was basically drug, sat down and forced to make my first CW contact.
I'm sorry. Did you say you were drugged?
Drugged.
Was ibuprofen or? Oh, you were dragged. You're dragged.
Drug. Yeah, whatever. I mean, whatever you can rustle.
Okay, well, I didn't know if pharmaceuticals were involved or not.
It's a bunch of ham radio operators, so it's
you never know. But
pain medication and beta blockers or something. I don't know, but nonetheless, it was a good time. It was a little challenging for me with my hearing issues, and that's probably been my biggest hang up in learning Morse code is being able to hear it. And I'm actually working on something to help out with that.
Excellent.
But what's that, Vince?
Excellent.
Yeah. But I got it done through Mike was there to help me decode, or Mike was decoding most of it, whichever way you want to look at it, depending on which way your C story goes. And then Becky was on the other side of the pavilion. So there was still about 40, 50 people there when I did it. But Becky, I got an email, and I think you had a whole list of everybody that you had made contacts with up there. Yep. So it was basically low power, 2 meter contacts from on opposite sides of the pavilion there at the cookout. And how many total contacts did you make?
I think about 35 to 40. It was a lot. And I would say at least a handful, if not more. It was their first CW contact. And that's kind of what we encouraged. Like I would go around, hey, can you send your call sign? Hey, do you know your call sign? Because a lot of people are like, well, I don't really know CW, but I want to learn, but I can send my call sign. And I was like, okay, well, this is your day to get on the air. And
there you go.
You know, we got Walt. I made his first CW contact with Walt also, Salty Walt.
And Josh did one. He does CW though, and
got Hank Tank Radio did one, so it was a lot of fun.
So with that, out of the, you did mention a couple. I know there was a couple of people that know Morse code enough to at least do POTO activations. Out of the group of people that you were making contacts with, how many people could do it on their own versus just needing some assistance? And the reason I ask this is that one of the things I like with teaching amateur radio is I just do it through demonstration. I just get up and do it.
Right.
Sometimes you got to take them to the water, take the horse to the water, and make them drink. And that's what you did with me, and that was fine. And I appreciate that. I've always find a reason, I find an excuse because of my hearing, and I just drag myself. So being forced to do it was a good thing. But I guess out of that group, how many do you think were complete first contact?
So I think if I were to do it over again, I think I would probably try better to get a sense of what assistance that each person needed. Like for instance, Joe Brett was giving me a hard time because I asked him if he could send his call sign, and I had made a couple of assumptions because he jumped right at it and started sending stuff, and he's got a K in his call sign. And towards the end, I said, "Okay, now send a K." And he would be like, "I don't know
what's that."
And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's in my call sign." And so, but I think that all of us who've been on the air with CW before would probably for sure say that the first time you're full of nerves, you got butterflies, you're probably shaky, and it's a little bit of a fun car wreck in the end, anyways. And so I think that it was definitely an honor to get to be able to help other people that were on their first one, and there were a couple people who said that they were just kind of dusting off the cobwebs or interested in getting into it again.
And
it's a huge honor.
I've gotten several replies from that email that I sent out afterwards to everybody, just saying how many people were like, you know what, that was really fun. I am going to get my key out, or I need to start getting back into it. And that's really what we're trying to do, is just show how fun it is, inspire people to just pick up their keys again or start learning again. Some people learned back in the day. Yeah.
What's Tim holding?
Oh, this is key.
Tim has to embiggenate himself.
I got not just embiggen, but embiggenate.
Yeah.
Embiggenate.
It's the
ooh. Yeah. That's pretty. What is it? Who makes that?
That's a Bama Tech.
Oh, that's a Bama Tech. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
Oh, it's even plugged in.
Well, kinda.
Okay.
So the radio I have, I use a computer. I don't directly connect to the radio. So I got a little dingus in here, the USB, the thing that Hallie key that our friend over Mark Smitty from Halibut makes.
Yeah. And this might be a good segue to plug a website that we made. We made a website called learnmorsecode.org, and we purposefully put all the things on that website that we would want to be able to tell ourselves if we were learning again. So,
great idea.
And if you are not sure if you're interested in Morse code, like if you
have to block me out. There it goes.
Yeah. So it's awesome getting to take little bitty radios like this with us backpacking outside anywhere we want to go. And I think that the power of CW allows us to do that. And we're really thankful about the fact that we found the Parks on the Air program, because it provides a really, really good way for people who are learning Morse code or even very experienced, but to be able to have a very structured exchange, so that it kind of limits the scope of what you might expect, and also get to be outside and play radio, which is our other passion.
Yep.
Well, I think it's a fair assessment to say that Parks on the Air has been probably one of the best things for amateur radio in a long, long time. And not just Parks on the Air, other programs, SOTA, any of these programs that are taking people out away from the home, and getting them out there. I think that has reinvigorated people's desire, and it's brought people into the radio, into the hobby that may not have otherwise been interested in it before, but they can take that activity now and go do something with it.
Yep. And one of the things that we love about it is it gives us a chance to play with a different antenna every time. We set up an antenna in our house, and it was a one-time thing, set it up, and we just use it all the time. But going outside and playing radio, every single chance is a clean slate of, hey, what antenna do we want to use? And then gives us a chance to experiment with different antennas and see how they do.
So to step back a little bit, and I've heard part of your story. I'm not sure if everybody has. And Mike, you had been licensed earlier and kind of stepped away and came back, and you were over there making bips and boops, and Becky heard you and got interested in it. Is that kind of how it goes, or am I just way off base?
Nope, very close. So I actually had, I got into the ham radio because I was interested in Morse code primarily. There's a little bit of, we had a bad tornado outbreak, and we lost all of our cell phone service for a week or so. And so also, wanting to have something to be able to use in emergencies. But it was probably about Morse code, and I had learned the wrong way. There was one weekend in particular where I was like, okay, this is the weekend. I'm going to learn Morse code. And I gave it my best chance, focused on it the whole weekend, and then realized that I was definitely wrong about the way that this was going to go. Then doubled down on it and started a long path of, okay, now I'm going to be able to learn it. And anyway, long story short, after I'd learned all the letters and numbers, I actually couldn't copy anything, and it was really frustrating. And so I put it in a drawer, and wasn't really planning on doing it again. And then we heard Morse code on a TV. It was either a TV show or a movie. And then I was like, oh, that's a and F or whatever.
And I was like, wait, what? How did you know that? Like, I didn't know he really knew Morse code. And so then that kind of piqued my interest of like, well, maybe I could learn Morse code. That sounds like fun. So then he did a little more research and kind of found a better way to start the journey, and got me started the right way. And I picked up the letters really, really quickly. But I didn't even have my license yet. I was like, I wasn't even planning on getting the air at all. And then sneaky guy, started playing Ed and Chantel's videos. They're a couple that POTA together.
Yeah.
He would like sneaky play it in the background. It would just kind of come on while we were cooking dinner. And I would be like, oh, what's that? I hear him doing Morse code. And then I was like, hey, that looks like fun. And that really encouraged me to get my license.
Ed and Chantel are awesome people.
Yeah.
Ed and Chantel Bennett, W4EMB, and I can't remember Chantel's call sign off the top of my head. And their story is similar. Chantel's in the kitchen cooking, and Ed's banging away dits and daws.
Yeah.
And she's calling out over her shoulder what it was that he couldn't decode. Just through osmosis, right? So, and that's a really well-known technique too, to just play it in the background, so you're subconsciously picking up the cadence and the letters. And the sounds, because you don't want to count dits and daws. You want to hear the sounds.
Yeah. And that was kind of the difference, that I started learning, really focusing on a speed that I couldn't differentiate between the dits and daws. I just heard, that full letter. I heard did-a-dot-it. And that was an entire sound for me. I was like, oh, that's an F. And that really helped me just kind of get that character recognition quickly.
Yeah, so we got a few comments here. We'll acknowledge the Portable Ham has joined us. Good evening, Dane. Welcome.
Hey, Dane.
We got a few.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
Got a few comments here in the chat. Frank, it'd be great if you could find a link. There we go. Perfect. And Jody V5-star Hamnetics says Mike laid the trap well. and John, another VE5 is asking, so the big question is, paddle or straight key?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's my answer too.
That's a good answer. Yes. 100%. I prefer a straight key. And if you had to flip a coin and say, I'm just brand new learning, where should I start? I think our recommendation is to start on the straight key, because you're in charge of the dits and the DAWs and the spacing and the timing, and it just kind of seats it in so that you really are in charge of all of that. And I still prefer the straight key. I activate POTA on the straight key. It's just where I'm more comfortable. I really don't mess up as much because I hear the sound and I send it, and it's all coming from my brain right straight to my hand. There's not that in between trying to learn what or how long to hold it or so.
Yeah, and I learned on straight key too, and then I switched to a paddle. But the analogy that I like to say is that it's kind of like learning a foreign language and trying to do yoga at the same time. Like it's hard enough to learn the foreign language, and so it's just one more layer. But then I also, after giving our best advertisement for straight keys, I think I would say that really whichever thing that you are more comfortable with, or like. I think that I learned the hard way that we installed a radio in our truck, and whichever one of us isn't driving will commonly be playing Morse code while we're driving. And I learned that a straight key is not the best thing to use bumping down the road. And so and then I switched to using a paddle most of the times for POTA as well.
Yeah.
So on our way over to Dayton, Dane came with me, and I knew he knew Morse code. I'd never seen him do it. We're driving along, and I pull out a key and give it to him, and he plugs it into the 891. And I've never done CW on it, so he goes through it and gets it all set up. And I don't know what, 20 minutes later, whatever. I'm just driving along, and he's already made like 18 contacts, and I don't know. He's just doing his thing, and hey. Matter of fact, hey, Jeff, Frank, I think that you and I and the three of us, we can step out and just let these guys carry on the rest of the live stream in CW.
Right.
Probably could, yeah.
I think that would be a first.
You'll probably lose all the audience though.
Yeah. Well, isn't YouTube smart enough to translate that? Yeah, on the closed captions.
Yeah, that's a drop down for me. It's one of my options.
Yeah. So, hey, Dane, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm rolling down the road at the moment.
Okay, and you are in the
like
passenger
always.
seat. I just want to verify that. Where
I love the comments. So I am in Oklahoma right now. Just came over the state line here just a couple minutes ago.
Whoosh!
You go stop and see Freddie?
Stop and see Freddie. I would love to. Last time when he was on here, if I remember correctly, where I'm like the general location of where I'm at, he's actually not too far from me. So
I believe he's
cool. I wonder if we could make contact on 2 meter. If we're, depending on how close we are, he's a 2 meter king, man. So
I bet you get him on All Star.
He's definitely on All Star.
He's
you
not
get everybody on All Star.
Right now, so.
Yeah.
No guard for Freddie right now. So,
hey, there's a great comment in here from Mike the Traveling Ham, KEOVIM. Great time to learn CW before the solar minimum. Your signal will go much farther watt for watt than it does on sideband. So the strangest thing happened to me 3-4 weeks ago. I was out activating my first bicycle POTA backcountry activation. And I didn't know that I was going out on the world's most terrible solar flux day or something. Like the A was 57 and the K was 7 or something insane, because a big flare had landed the day before. And I was oblivious because I didn't pay attention. And I get out, and after half an hour, I have made 2 CW contacts.
Wow.
At 10 watts. It took me 2.25 hours to get 11 contacts. I was unsuccessful on FT8. So the rest of my contacts were, drum roll please, single sideband. And so that seemed really odd to me. It was an interesting learning. And I'm putting it down to maybe the time that if I would have started in sideband, I would have been waiting forever and then switched to CW, I would have got a bunch of them. It could have been just when I hit it.
Yeah.
But usually usually it's 99% of the time, CW is going to go mile for mile, much farther than phone will, especially in, slow conditions.
Yeah, one theory could be a number of people available on sideband might be high enough to where you had more people just at the magic distance or what have you.
Yeah, I was out Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. local. And so I knew that I wasn't going to get a whole bunch of West Coast at that time of day, but I also wanted to get around the summer doldrums too, right? So Mike says he had a day like that too. So it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, on Becky's first soda, we had done a couple of POTAs, but we were really green and brand new. And we had gotten 3 contacts and thought that we needed to get 10, and we gave up.
Yeah, we were there for forever. We didn't even think that we just need one more until we got home back to the camper and we started looking it up and, like, oh, should we try to, finish whatever? And we're like, oh, we just needed one more. So we learned a lot. We call it, we're winning or learning. So we learn a lot when we're out in the field. So
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
winning or learning. That's awesome.
Kind of all our life motto. We're winning or learning. We learn a lot. Yeah.
I've learned, I know a lot of people get hung up and I'm on the whole, it's a failed activation or, it's not a failed activation. I just look at it as I'm out having fun. If I make contacts, I make contacts. There's times that I'll go to the park and I'll sit there and I'll call CQ a couple of times and just be like, whatever. I'll just sit and listen, and not sweat it. Sometimes I'll call and, make 75, 80 contacts and I'm as happy as a drum because I'm ripping, as fast as I can. And so I've never see it as a failed or I just didn't get enough. I mean, it is what it is. And I go have fun.
So, Mike and Becky, James has a good comeback to that. Learning is winning for him.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I want to say, we do want to say hi to James. He actually bought one of our Morse code keys. So hi, James. Thank you so much for your support. And he sent us an email because he wants to test our new antenna that we're kind of beta testing. So, James.
There are more than one James in the world. So
yeah, I know, but I know his call sign. He sent us an email.
This James here specifically?
Yes, that James.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned the Morse code key and the antenna. Did you guys want to talk about that?
Sure. So one of the questions we get a lot is...
Oh, I got to re-embiggen you here.
Okay, re-embiggen us. I learned that today. I'm learning. Oh, you
enhance.
Okay,
there we go.
There we go.
Enhance.
So when we get a lot of questions of...
And we might have to move out of the way to...
Yeah, is it going to do it? There it goes.
There we go.
It is.
Well, that's cute.
So we get a lot of questions on what key would we recommend as a beginner, or what feels good. And he tells a story that we got a J38.
And both of us absolutely love the J38 that we got. We actually got 2. The first one we got, we tried to restore it and it didn't work. And the second one, it worked like out of the box, and we just restored it in a appearance kind of way. But and also we learned on a J38 style key from MFJ that they don't make anymore.
Yeah.
And so when people asked us what straight key would we recommend, there's lots of great choices, but I really wanted to be able to say go get a J38. So we modeled this off of the mechanical structure of a J38, hoping that it might feel close enough to be able to use. And so fast forward over 100 different prototypes and iterations later, we actually prefer this over our J38. We think it feels a little bit better, which is a totally shock to us.
Yeah.
We were afraid it would feel like plastic because it is made of plastic, but it actually feels remarkably good.
Yep.
And and then somebody said, they asked a question about the Navy knob style, and I was thinking in my head, oh no, we forgot about that entirely. And so then we had to make it.
So now we have a Navy knob also. Yeah.
Okay. So the J38 is the iconic Morse code key that you see.
Yeah. We've got one.
And since you mentioned the Navy knob, then so that's the Navy key.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the Army used it also, but.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's our J38.
Okay. But we wanted something that we could say, for maybe somebody that's new to ham radio or new to CW, like to say, oh, go on eBay and find a J38. Well, what if it doesn't work? Or what if they don't really know yet how the mechanics of it work and they don't have time to restore it and they're just excited and they want a key to start practicing? So we thought, okay, well, we're going to come up with something that feels the same that we could recommend.
Yeah. And while buying our keys does help support us, our primary mission is to get more people into CW. So we're trying to keep the cost so that it could be accessible to anybody. And then we also make extras that we give away to new hams or people who are learning CW.
Or kids. Yeah.
Yep.
So we've given away a good amount of keys also. Yeah.
So you're selling those as a manufactured item. Are you selling them as kits where people can build them themselves, or is it better to especially if it's newer people, have it pre-built, that way it's ready to go and less room for error and maybe frustration?
Yeah. So right now all of them are built by us, and probably for the foreseeable future. It's hard to see, but there's constructing them is a pretty labor intensive process. And we also ran into enough issues in trying to manufacture them and things like that we would at least need the kinks to be worn out a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
So
if you use a different filament or a different printer or a different anything, it doesn't feel the same. Like we try. We have someone that is helping with our actual 3D printing now in Birmingham, but we had to go back and forth probably a dozen times because even though he has the same printer, it's a different model and the same filament. It didn't feel the same.
It's not Little Jim, is it? Little Jim?
No.
And the East Side Boys?
No.
Yeah, but when we were doing all the tweaking on the first design, it was just a matter of walking into the other room to do another print and check the fit and things like that. And when it didn't quite work right from the first batch from him, each batch was another mailing it back and forth until we got each one of the little things ironed out.
Yeah. Real funny. Our friend Jody is the meme master. So I want to see a meme on this. The Navy key light, it's a littoral class Navy key. And for those who don't know, the new ships, the littoral class ships that the Navy's put out, coastal ships is what Jody is.
Well,
or
Jim,
the Canadian
I do have
Navy.
A screen share waiting for you.
Yeah, you have a screen
from Jody.
Oh, well,
let's
get that in there.
Oh, yay. Perfect.
Yeah.
I like it. I need that.
Jody is the meme master.
I like it.
Yes, he is. Now, Jody had an interesting question earlier on, and I'm going to put a spin on the question. Do y'all have cooties? And I said to Jody, well, they're a married couple. Do you mean the germs or the key?
So actually, yeah, I got a bug for the first time probably 6 months ago, just to try something different, but mostly just to get an older key, be able to restore it. I like doing little projects and figuring out what's next. So I got this beauty.
I don't know if I have.
Oh, he might be plugged in. Oh, there we go.
That's nothing wire cutters won't fix. Don't worry about it.
Old Vibraplex?
It is.
Oh, gosh, what's going on with that?
So
I'm normally not allowed to touch it, but
yeah, he's not allowed to touch it.
But
it was a beautiful key.
That looks nice. But what was the thing that was on the tail end there of the?
So part of me getting a bug was he doesn't like them.
So if you're into Morse code, you probably know that bugs have a unique sound to them.
Yes.
And sometimes the unique sound, and it's because of the fact that most of them, the dits the dits are automatic and the DAWs are under your control. And if you're sending slower, then the dits are still pretty fast, and the DAWs require human timing, and so there's a characteristic normal kind of sound to them, and then especially if you're learning, it can be hard to copy them.
Yeah.
And so when she said she was getting into bugs, I just said, oh no. I was like, are you going to make sure that you can send really clean code before you get on the air?
So the timing is a lot harder because most of the bugs are set up where the dits are really fast, and in order to have the timing right, you've got to be able to send DAWs quick and fast. So what this does actually is it's an extension so that you can push the weight further out, and you can slow the dits even more down to like 15, 12 word per minute dits. So then you can have your timing correct between the dits and DAWs, and it sounds cleaner. So I had to learn how to send it right to get on the air.
That takes away the nuance of the bugs, man, because you can always tell someone's using a bug because you have those extremely quick dits, but those slightly over pronounced DAWs. And I love this the way they sound. So
and I don't
the Carolina swing or whatever.
Yeah, like I can't send on them to save my life. I will flat out admit that I attempted so many times and I just can't do it.
Yeah. I think what I try to do is get myself to just figure out the mechanics of this sends it automatically, but I have to do the DAWs by myself. And then I could start speeding it up and have a little bit more of a flair to it, but still so he could copy it. I was like, if he can copy it, then I feel safe.
Yeah, I might have I created a web-based tool that'll analyze your timing, because the only tool that we could find was a Windows one, and we don't have Windows.
So what's Tim holding up here? Oh, he's holding up a modern Morse.
Yeah, see,
I have one of those.
For somebody who I can't hear, but boy, I sure got a stack of keys.
Yeah, that's the one I was banging out on, wasn't it?
You were banging my key that day.
Yes, I was, sir.
Yes.
A couple of great comments in the chat from friend of the stream, Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics. Becky is the straight key master. Thank you, Bill. And he also says antibiotic takes care of bugs and cooties.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
I might have to make a shirt.
Oh man.
Yeah, right on. Well, that's very cool. You could pop that into a shirt. I think that would be all right.
Yeah.
So I mean, how many keys do you own between the two of you, or is this a dangerous question?
No, not really. I mean, you've probably seen most of them. We have the ones we made.
So we didn't have very many. We had the J38, the MFJ that we retired, and the keys that we made, and
you have a couple paddles.
Yeah,
portable.
A good collection of paddles. And then when we started, and then we went to Hamfest, and she picked up every straight key she walked by.
Yeah.
Tim was there when I purchased one of them.
Yes, I did.
He
and it was an interesting straight key. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Was it the Kent?
No, it was this one.
No.
Oh, the Chinese one?
Yes, it was a Chinese military key.
Ooh.
But what is interesting about that one?
Yeah, and I took it off because I plugged it in. Don't be mad at me, Tim. It actually had the paper wrapper on the end and tied up like it had never, like it looks like it's never really been unwound and used before. So
yeah, it still had the protective wax paper around the plug.
And then
that's like the box there, Becky. It's like you just lost the box.
I know. I still have the paper though. I could put it back on. I kept it.
What are you holding there, Mike?
So this is the Kent key from Germany. That this was the flagship one that she got.
Yep.
Very nice.
And
Beautiful.
It does feel really, really good too.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice I asked them a direct question: how many? And we didn't get a numeric answer. I like these people.
Yeah.
People ask me how many radios I own. I count them by the dozen.
Now,
It's just the way it is.
See, Mike and Becky, whereas he asked you how many, I can actually tell you how many.
Oh, one.
That's it.
Is
Yeah.
that a bencher?
Faux bencher.
No, that's the MFJ because it's got the knocked off corners.
Mm-hmm.
MFJ 264, if I remember correctly.
I think that's what it was.
264.
Yeah.
Is that the A? It's not the B. The B is the black one.
Well, no, the bencher is the BY1, the black, and the BY2, the chrome. But this is an MFJ 264 because the corners are missing and the paddles are red.
Good eye.
So.
Ooh.
So my answer to that, Frank, is you really just need one to get on the air. That's all you need.
I know 4 letters.
Yeah.
C, Q, S, and O. That's all I need to know.
Well, and I think that so every once in a while you go to a big city and there's somebody on the street corner shouting about the religion things.
The end of days.
So sometimes I feel like we're kind of like doing that about Morse code, and just should at least say out loud that I think it's fascinating that there's so many different aspects to ham radio in general, and so we found our little corner in CW and expanded into antennas and all that kind of stuff. But it's just awesome that there's so many different things for all the folks.
I'm going to put this comment up real quick. And Paul says, I did my first QSO by imitating Becky, and Becky send and receive at the time on YouTube exactly 1 year ago. Huge thanks, Mike and Becky.
Yeah, we're awesome. Familiar with Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
We've been watching his journey on Ham Alert and POTA activation. He's out there all the time now activating, and just to know we were part of his initial journey is really an honor to us. Like, that's why we keep sharing what we're doing. Thanks, Paul.
So, Mike and Becky, I'm going to give you guys a fun little history bit here. So, if you don't know, I'm a railroad conductor, and I've grown up around trains my whole life. Morse code, of course, started with the railroad, to a degree. What is if you go across a grade crossing, where the tracks cross the road, what horn sequence do you usually hear?
I'm gonna have to pay more attention next time.
I don't know.
Q.
Vince got it. Da, 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 da. Long, long, short, long. That's our horn sequence for every single grade crossing.
Huh.
Does it stand for something?
Is there a why that was chosen?
No rhyme or reason. Every whistle sequence is a Morse code character. So highball is in let's get going is did it.
We have an owl in the backyard that sends cues.
Okay.
We're like, hey, you said Q.
Yeah, we were walking down the street today and there's a dog barking, and all of a sudden he goes T M. I'm like, what are you doing?
Somebody's calling out Frank.
Yeah,
Frank can do more than 4 characters. I've heard him make a complete QSO. Looking forward to hearing him make the next one.
That's Mark over at Soda Plus. We have done cross mode before when
KD7 DTS. Yep.
Yeah, when he was getting his Soda Goat earlier this year, I could hear him on sideband. He could not hear me. He could hear my CW though. So we did sideband to CW to make the contact.
Jody's got a great answer for why it's Q. Quick, get off the track.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
It's that's interesting, Frank. When you mentioned that, I remember as kids, we had a couple of railroad lines not too far from where I lived, and we probably shouldn't have been doing it, but we were, running up and down the railroads, and I do remember seeing those signs that just said Q, and I wondered what that meant. I mean, I figured it was a signaling point, but why Q? And
I've never seen the letter Q except for in reference to quiet zone, which means no horn is used. If you're going to see a horn signal marker or something, it's a W or an X for whistle.
Say, hey, Mike, what you got?
Golly, I don't know.
And so this is the latest. So when we made the straight key, it really started as an experiment to see if we could make something that might be less expensive or more available that felt as good as the J38. And I felt like when we were pleasantly surprised at how good it felt, that especially with our love for straight keys, that this is a long way of saying we're not qualified to make antennas, but we made one. So this was born out of
kind of like you're an amateur.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of all the things that we create or do, or websites or tools or anything. It's because we're solving our own problems. And, we come up with a problem like, oh, we need a key to recommend, or we're on a balcony and we were trying to put a end-fed half wave out to nowhere and couldn't do it. So we had this whip antenna that was awful. Not awful, but it was just too big.
Yeah, we had one of the standard 17-foot steel whip antennas with the spike kind of going between the boards on the balcony, and the other part kind of bent, going up. And they were like, "There's got to be a better solution." So, so this is a vertical whip antenna that's built around this little 6-inch or so collapsible whip, and it expands to about 6 feet total. And it's just basically a loaded vertical antenna, but we use those little QRP radios, and they don't have a ground leg on them. So for the radial, there's a connector to be able to use.
There you go.
And nice. And then on the bottom is a tripod adapter. That way you can use any of the tripod mounts that you can find on Amazon. There's ground spikes that go directly into the ground, suction cups that go onto the window for GoPros.
And this is what we usually just use. It's a little camera tripod, but it can also extend up even taller if you wanted it to, or you can keep it lower.
And I got Great Britain yesterday on this from the backyard. And when we were at Hamfest, we mentioned it to Mike K8MRD, and he just grabbed it, plugged it into his radio.
He's like, "Let me try it."
And we never tried it with voice before, but he had his amp on, his portable amp, and on voice. And
he activated the park on it. So it was kind of neat. But this comes off the top. There's just you can screw it right in there onto the top. So it can collapse down to that big. So you can put it in your little lunchbox size QRP gear.
How much do you think that weighs?
It's a good question. I
think you weighed it.
I forget.
All that
not very much.
All that product development testing, and you didn't weigh it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go get a scale.
Yeah. And so and actually right about the time when that idea came to me, I was talking to Ara N6 ARA because he published a video where he has one that has basically some of the tuning elements built into the antenna, and I forgot the historical reference that he used.
The tiny Gaunt.
Yes,
Gannat.
That's the one. And so, and we were hacking on an antenna of this design for our car at the time, and then that's when I was like, I really, really, really could use a little antenna that we can bring in.
All right.
So that's not going to work.
You probably have to sit down at the table. Yeah. So while Becky, Mike's weighing that, there's a question asking what bands will that antenna work on?
This one is cut specifically for 20 meters. In order to do any changes, you'd have to have less wraps around it. We thought maybe we could get 17 by just lowering the whip, but the SWR was just not workable.
Yeah, so. And like other small antennas of this size, the SWR is very finicky. So we use an antenna analyzer every time just to make sure that and it's got a narrow queue. So the usable bandwidth is pretty narrow. So we always check it before we plug it in. And the SWR, at least on the few that we've built, is really low. But just pointing out that just means that the radio is going to be happy. It doesn't mean it's an efficient antenna.
Yeah.
I actually have found that it pairs really, really great with the G90 at 20 watts because even it's not as efficient as a full-sized antenna, but with 20 watts on CW, gives you
it's plenty. It's plenty. But we've even used it with our 5-watt radio. So we were probably putting out, maybe 2, but it's still, it made its contacts. So it works.
She got Netherlands on it.
Netherlands, yep.
Well, G90 can tune a wet noodle, so it should be able to tune anything.
That's true.
Yeah, and I didn't have the tuner on, though.
And a dry noodle.
Okay, how much does it weigh?
3.77 ounces. Or
So you could definitely get that in for your 1 pound POTA challenge, right?
3.7 ounces.
I heard 3.77.
3.77. Is that right?
Yeah.
So for our non-American friends who are watching the live stream, that's 106 grams.
Oh, yeah.
Or basically just under 1/4 pound.
Yeah.
So
and we have a K6 ARK infed half wave that we use all the time, and it weighs less than that, and it's smaller, and it performs better. This is my sales pitch.
It doesn't sound like a sales pitch. It weighs less. It performs. Okay, I'm listening.
And so really, like the reason why this one's neat for us and playing with it is really about using it in places where you otherwise couldn't. You're at a park, you don't want to stick something in the ground, you've on a balcony.
Want something low profile.
Yeah.
Right.
So Traveling Ham says
he says he
I
wants
want
one.
Yeah. Do you guys you're selling the keys? Do you have a e-commerce site set up to?
Yep, it's at shop.hamradioduo.com, or if you just go to hamradioduo.com, there's a link to it.
And I've been oversharing the links a little bit.
Okay,
so.
good.
Yeah, Frank is an
Frank,
oversharer.
appreciate it.
Frank
right
is
now
a professional oversharer.
Right now the antenna shows as sold out because we have probably a handful of people that have shown interest, and they're communicating their emails, and we're putting it out kind of as a beta test group for the first few purchasers that will test it for us and put it through its paces before we open up shop completely.
Yeah, we've been using it for a couple months, did multiple activations on it, and we think we've ironed out the kinks for us, but we're basically want to first give it to a set of people who want to buy it that are okay pulling out the soldering iron if they have to, and that'll give us a chance to build the first 10 or so before. We learned the hard way with the Morse code keys that it's a good idea. We didn't have any time to start tweaking the design after we released it, and so we want to just make sure that we have before we are trying to build a bunch of them, that we have all the little bitty details worked out.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I'll vouch for Kevin. He says he's clearing his throat loudly here. So
Kevin.
Is that his name, Kevin?
No,
Mike.
What am I saying, Kevin? I
Because his call sign looks like Kevin.
K0BIM.
Yeah.
Really?
Kevin.
Okay.
Kevin.
The call sign makes you think it's Kevin.
Mike, on behalf of the kids' table, I apologize.
Yeah. So the weird thing is that my call sign has 3 F's in it, and my name is Michael in real life, Mike on the air, and the number, I've lost count of the number of times people introduce themselves and say, "Hi, Jeff," and I think it's the F's in my call sign.
We've gotten some emails of like, "Hey, Becky and Jeff." I'm like, oh.
Did I call you Jeff earlier?
No, I don't think.
No,
so.
I didn't. I didn't hear Jeff on the live stream except when we welcomed our Jeff.
I'd probably respond to it. Either works.
Well, hey, I'm not feeling so bad. Mike says he gets Kevin a lot, and he's cool with it, and he's starting to answer to it now.
Yeah, exactly. Jeff, Mike, whatever.
Tim, we have breaking meme master in the screen share.
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
where's
man.
that?
Thank you, Jody.
There we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, you're gonna have to build that one. I see a 3D print design in his future.
Right.
There we go.
It's got to be waterproof.
Yeah. Does it float?
Yeah, it has to float too.
Yeah, does it float? Yeah.
Jody is the meme master. I will say that.
Yes.
At least when it comes to amateur radio memes.
Oh, even non-ham memes.
But he might
I
be
won't
Cat
go
Turd for all we know. I don't know. Or one of the other political meme people too. That could be Jody for all we know.
Yeah. So Tim, I have a question. Have you got your QSL card from me yet? Did you get it yet?
Not sure. I haven't gone down to the PO box yet. So
okay.
Yeah, we're behind on our PO box too.
Yeah. So this is our latest. So we have an on-demand service where you can upload any image you want, multiple image. You can send a different image for every QSO that you have if you want to, or a special
Mm-hmm.
occasion, and it will automatically stamp, postage, put it in the mail, right from your activation site if you wanted to send them. So
It's
that's awesome.
So if you're behind on QSL cards, even if you have a big stack, because we still have a big stack of ours, then you can go on there and then order QSL cards and then have them all shipped for you. Still type out a custom message on them, and then it fills in all the QSO details and all that kind of stuff.
So the story behind that is we love to get QSL cards.
Mm-hmm.
We forget to send them, and he has really bad handwriting. So that's where this came about is, well, I want to make it convenient and fun again. So we created this so that we could do it, and we reuse it all the time. And then we're like, okay, well, maybe other people would benefit from this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And sorry, Vince, right now.
So this is your creation, your business then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So the card you'll get will be from that.
Awesome. And so that they can also, if anybody's interested in the service, then they can find that on your website.
Yes. If you go to hamradioduo.com, it's in the top menu, but I think you had to click the 3 dots to get more options, but.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to say something really fast before we begin our wrap up round.
Yep.
Have y'all ever thought that we're all behind on QSL cards because it's impossible to be ahead on them because we haven't made the contacts yet?
Good point. Very good point.
We're gonna use AI to predict the contacts and send them out in advance.
Yeah, there you go. Over to you, Tim.
Awesome. Well, as Vince alluded to, we've got just about 3 minutes till we have to get out of here. Mike, Becky, what is coming up next for you guys and on your YouTube channel?
So
Hamfest videos, we've got to get some of those out for sure. We had some great interviews and experiences, so we're working on putting those out and more POTA stuff.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start sharing more outdoor radio related things, antennas, hardware, QRP stuff, things like that.
Awesome. Guys, gals, if you haven't already, make sure you follow them on YouTube and their other social media. Go check out their website. Real quick, down the line, Vince, what do you got coming on?
Hey, dude, I just dropped a couple of videos recently and a couple of articles on QRPer.com because I discovered I like going on backcountry bicycle POTA activations. And this is something I've never done before, going off into the wilderness on my own, kind of like solo hike packing or bike packing or something.
Might have to have you as a guest on the Hammer.
Yeah, we can talk about that. So I've got a third article and a third video in the works. That's it.
Awesome. Make sure you check that out on QRPer.com. Dane, what you got going on?
Honestly, not too much. My next video is going to be on building the HRD Industries, I think is what it's called now. The spike for the HRD little dude. I'm going to be building that spike because I guess there's been a lot of questions, and I guess people aren't seeing that like there's multiple parts that are already pre-screwed into each other. So I'm going to be able to build one for people so they can actually like look it up and be like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it.
Frank, 30-second elevator speech.
I got a lot of QSL cards to go through, including W1AW to get back to. So that's my stack. Thursday nights, 10 Central, 11 Eastern, NorCal SwapNet on my channel. And
Jeff, what do you got going on, buddy?
that was epic right there.
Right? First Friday
More
of the month,
videos.
Q and AMA.
All righty.
More videos, 2,000 subscriber giveaway coming up. So there you go.
And Tim, you?
You know, I put out the video on the new WOA tracker from Seed Studios, the L1. That is an awesome thing. And it's got some new features in the beta firmware where you can actually send messages right from it. Kind of like the TDEC without the crackberry looking one without the keyboard. Yeah, the TDEC. Okay. And just some other videos, got some more stuff coming up on All Star. So that is it. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. This has been a great episode. Mike, Becky, thank you for visiting us on
Thanks for having us
table tonight. And Ham Nation is next, so we will get out of here. Everybody, have a great rest of your week. Not only Ham Nation tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday night premieres. I know Freddie Mac's got some queued up, and I think there might be a couple others. And then Coffee and Ham Radio is tomorrow night on live stream. And then Josh Saturday night, Jason Sunday. I think Frank has also got one in there. Frank has got a live stream before Jason. So plenty of Ham Radio content available. So 73, everybody. Have a great evening.
Come say hi on
Thank
the
you so much for having us.
Thanks, guys.